The Forged Painting, Part 1. Shadows behind the canvas. Ethan Tran stood just inside the entrance of Lincoln High's auditorium, arms crossed, eyes scanning the rows of student artwork displayed on easels and hanging panels. The annual Spring Arts Showcase was the biggest event of the year for the school's creative crowd and for Ethan. It had always been personal. He'd spent weeks on his submission, a surreal cityscape overtaken by nature. Vines curling around skyscrapers, birds nesting in traffic lights. It was bold, textured, and full of symbolism. But it hadn't even made the final cut. Instead, the top prize had gone to Ryan Nguyen, a quiet junior known mostly for keeping to himself. His painting, titled Boy in the Rain, was undeniably beautiful. A lone figure stood beneath a flickering street lamp, rain cascading down his face, half obscured by shadow. The emotion was raw, the technique refined. But something about it gnawed at Ethan. He'd seen it before. Not exactly, but close enough. Ethan was a digital art junkie, always browsing obscure blogs and forums. Years ago, he'd bookmarked a painting that looked almost identical, same composition, same lighting, same haunting mood. The original had been signed by someone named Tuan. Ryan's version bore his own name. Ethan pulled out his phone and scrolled through his old bookmarks. There it was. He held the screen up next to Ryan's painting. The resemblance was uncanny. Was this plagiarism? He didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the evidence was hard to ignore. Ethan had lost to a copycat. And worse, no one seemed to notice. He waited until the crowd thinned, then approached Ryan, who was standing off to the side, hands tucked into his hoodie, eyes fixed on the floor. "Hey," Ethan said, trying to sound casual. "Your painting's impressive." Ryan looked up, surprised. "Thanks." "I was just wondering," Ethan continued, "where did you get the idea?" Ryan hesitated. "I don't know. It just came to me." Ethan frowned. "Because I think I've seen it before. Online, a few years ago." Ryan's expression didn't change, but his eyes flickered. "Maybe. There's a lot of stuff out there. It's not just similar," Ethan said, holding up his phone. "It's almost the same." Ryan stared at the screen, then looked away. "It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" Ethan asked, voice low. Ryan took a deep breath. "It's my brother's." Ethan blinked. "Your brother painted it?" "Yeah, his name was Tuan. He passed away 2 years ago." The words hit Ethan like a punch to the chest. He lowered his phone. "He was sick for a long time," Ryan continued. "Cancer. He painted that during his last month. I used to sit next to him while he worked. After he died, I couldn't draw anything for a while. But this year, I wanted to honor him. So I recreated it. Every brushstroke, every shadow." Ethan was silent. The anger he'd felt earlier dissolved into something else. Confusion, guilt, empathy. "I didn't mean to cheat," Ryan said quietly. "I just wanted people to see it, to feel what he felt." "But you signed it as your own," Ethan said, not accusing, just trying to understand. Ryan nodded. "I didn't think they'd accept it if I said it was his. I didn't want to explain everything. I just wanted it to be seen." Ethan looked back at the painting. It wasn't theft. It was memory, a tribute, a way to keep someone alive. "I thought you were copying," Ethan admitted, "but now I'm not so sure." Ryan gave a small, sad smile. "I guess I kinda was. But not for the reasons you think." Ethan nodded slowly. "Maybe there's a way to tell the judges. Let them know the story behind it." Ryan's eyes widened. "You'd help me do that?" "Yeah," Ethan said. "Art should tell the truth. This is a truth worth sharing." The Forged Painting, Part 2. Truth in the Rain, the Monday after the Spring Arts Showcase. Ethan Tran sat outside the art room, tapping his foot against the linoleum floor. He'd asked for a meeting with Ms. Carter, the art teacher and head judge of the competition. His stomach twisted, not from anger anymore, but from uncertainty. Ryan Nugent's painting had won fair and square, technically. But Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that the story behind it deserved to be told. Not just to Ms. Carter, but to everyone. Ms. Carter opened the door and smiled warmly. "Ethan, come in." He stepped inside, clutching his sketchbook like a shield. "Thanks for meeting with me." "Of course," she said, gesturing to a seat. "Is this about the showcase?" Ethan nodded. "It's about Ryan's painting, Boy in the Rain. Ms. Carter raised an eyebrow. You think there's a problem? Not exactly, Ethan said. I thought it was copied at first, from an old blog, but it turns out it was his brother's. Ryan recreated it as a tribute. Ms. Carter leaned forward, her expression softening. I didn't know Ryan had a brother. He passed away, Ethan said quietly. 2 years ago. Ryan told me he painted it during his brother's final days. He didn't mean to cheat. He just wanted people to see it. Ms. Carter was silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. That changes things. I don't think he should be disqualified, Ethan added quickly. But I do think people should know the story. It's part of the art. Ms. Carter smiled. You're right. Art isn't just about technique, it's about meaning. Thank you for telling me. Later that week, Ms. Carter called Ryan into her office. Ethan waited outside, unsure how Ryan would react. When Ryan emerged, his face was pale, but calm. She wants me to speak at the award ceremony, Ryan said. Ethan blinked. Really? She said the judges want to honor the story behind the painting, not just the painting itself. That's amazing, Ethan said. Are you okay with that? Ryan hesitated. I don't like talking in front of people. I think my brother would have wanted it. Friday evening, the auditorium filled again, this time for the awards ceremony. Students, parents, and teachers gathered under soft lights, the winning artworks displayed proudly on stage. When Ryan's name was called, he walked slowly to the podium, clutching a folded piece of paper. He cleared his throat, voice trembling. My painting is called Boy in the Rain, he began. But it's not really mine. It was first painted by my brother Tuan when he was sick. He was 17. He loved art more than anything. He said painting helped him feel alive, even when his body was failing. The room was silent. I watched him paint this scene himself, I think standing in the rain, half in shadow. Said it was how he felt, alone but still here. After he died, I couldn't draw for a long time. But this year, I wanted to bring his work back, so I recreated it. Every detail, not to win, just to remember. Ryan paused, eyes glistening. I didn't tell anyone at first. I was afraid they'd think it wasn't real art. But it is. It's his truth. And now it's mine too. The audience erupted in quiet applause. Ms. Carter stepped forward and placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. We're proud to present Ryan Nguyen with the Lincoln High Art Legacy Award, she said, for honoring the spirit of creativity, memory, and courage. Ethan clapped the loudest. After the ceremony, Ryan found Ethan near the back of the auditorium. Thanks, Ryan said simply. Ethan smiled. You did the hard part. Ryan looked at the painting one last time. I think he'd be proud. Ethan nodded. He'd be more than proud. He'd be honored.